Hello everybody, today on the Natali Bros we are going to be replacing the top glass of a stove. As you can see here, we've had some type of an issue on our stove. This is a Frigidaire stove, and so we're going to be working on it. First, you're going to want to pull it away because you'll have to be able to get to some screws around it, and for safety you're going to want to unplug it from the wall. Okay, so first what we're going to do is we're going to take this bracket off. There's 3, 6, 9 screws to get this back bracket off. So now we got this back bracket off. Make sure that you find something that you can put your screws in so they don't fall everywhere, and you kind of keep them under wraps. Now we have to switch to the front because all those back screws are out now. Now we got to switch and get this off so that we can try to get the glass off. Up underneath here, you will see screws that we will need to be taken off to allow this to come off. So now take those off. So now after you have those 5 bolts out, you can see there all 5 of the bolts. Now you're going to pull this top piece. You have to lift it up a little bit and then you can pull it out. But you need to be very careful so that you don't rip any of the wires out. As you see, these wires were getting a little bit tight. But now what we're going to do is we're going to take this screw and this screw of this front off.
Go.
So now that these 2 screws are out, now you see we have to be very careful to take this off. And now I'm going to have to go through and take all of our elements off so that we can put it on the next one. So with that, I will double check, but it should just be these 2 brackets come off and all that will come off with it. So now we've got those 4 bolts off. Now you can see you can lift this up. Be careful because these are flimsy. You don't want to break them and make you cost more money. So we're going to be careful lifting those up and out. And then okay, for this next part, we're going to go ahead and exchange these onto our new glass. To do this, I don't really have a lot of room here to do that. So what I'm going to do is unconnect all this so I can take it to a safer location to perform this. So you'll see the clips right here that you will use to help you release this apart. So here you see this was the piece I had to press in to take this off. The good thing is this only goes on one way, so putting it back together will be easy. So now I'm going to move this to another location to make this easier to put back together. Okay, so now you see I've changed from the broken one here. I just moved everything over to the new one. You're going to see that it has an area here for where they go in. You're just trying to make sure that when you screw it in, that it's in there. Excuse me. As you screw those in, it will actually put pressure on those and keep those in place once you're done. Alright guys, so I got these in now. This top one was a little bit, I had to put some force on the screw to get the screw to start. The holes must not have been quite as opened up to allow the screws to go in. Make sure when you do these in, this is really thin metal, so you don't want to try to over tighten them. If you do that, you'll strip it out and then you'll be buying another one. So be careful when you're tightening those. You just need to get them tight enough. Don't over tighten them. Always remember, lefty loosey, righty tighty, or clockwise is tightening and counterclockwise is loosening. So go into your left, lefty loosey, righty tighty. The next thing is we're going to go through and these vents, we're going to take the screws off to take this vent off. Be careful because this piece over here will drop when that happens. So now you see I got these, I got the vents off. This came off. Now what I'm going to do is all of these little clips here, I'm going to pinch each one of these little clips. That way I could take this rubber piece here off and put it on the new one. Now on the new glass piece, we're going to put this seal in. So these little things, all you're going to do is push it straight down into the holes. And then once you press those in, now that piece is locked in. Next, we're going to move on to putting that plate on here with the vents on here. Okay, so now we have those installed. We have the two vents installed. They're also attached with this bottom piece. We have our rubber piece installed. So now it's time to put this in the right orientation so that we can plug this back in and set the top down where it needs to be.
Hey everybody, I am back. I just woke up, and now I'll be showing you the steps. You want to look at this part and look at this. This part needs to go with this.
So it's going to clip onto that.
Yep, you just want to push it together until you hear that click.
Okay, now we're going to put this top on. And I'm going to do this because it's really heavy. So you got to remember that this was the front.
Is it on pause?
No.
Okay.
And you want to be careful turning it over so you don't drop it. You don't want to pinch any of your wires. But now we want to set it in place so that we can start putting everything back together. So there, it locked in place, and now we will start screwing everything in.
Alright guys, now we're going to look at this and take these screws that you taken out and put them back in. Make sure they're lined up into the hole. Once they're lined up into the hole, we're going to screw them in.
And we're going to do that for this one and for this one. Okay, now that we have these two screws in, and so that's nice and tight, now we're going to continue to keep going backwards, and we're going to put this back in. Now when you're doing this, you want to make sure that your wires aren't pinched. As we put this back together, we want to make sure it's all nice and neat. So, as you see, these are big and bulky. So I'm going to look and kind of just lightly make sure that these get in here. They're not going to be pinched anywhere. And then you want to make sure that you have this up on the lip here, like this, when you're folding it up in. And then you're going to lock the top in. Now that it's locked in, now we'll go through and put the screws back in under here.
So if you don't have a magnetized screwdriver, you can get a magnet to make the screw. You put the magnet on the screwdriver to make the screw lined up to help before when you put it in.
So it's a pro tip, huh?
Yes.
Okay, so now we have this secured. We put all the bolts back in there after we had the bolts in the front. So now everything on the front is done. Now on to the last step, which is going to be to put this final bracket back on the back here.
Alright guys, now we're just going to put this piece back on. Make sure this little gap goes with this rubber piece right here. Put it on so every space is lined up. And then you just need to screw all the screws back in, which are all in these spots. So I'll be doing that, and then we'll be showing you the next steps.
So what Blake did here was he started with one on each side, and now he's going back and forth on each side so that everything's lined up, and then he can get these middle three. Maggie, get away.
Oh.
Maggie, get.
Make sure your cats are safe.
Maggie.
Now what we're going to do is we're going to push the oven in a little bit and plug it in to see if everything still works. So now guys, what we're going to do is we're going to get the oven and push it in a little bit and plug it in, see if it works. We're going to turn all the burners on to check if it's working. Alright, so they're all working, so we're going to turn them off. Now we're going to push it back in, and then, yeah, that's done. See you guys, see you in the next video.